Well, hello there. Welcome to the stream. This is a good stream. This is going to be an exciting stream. This is going to be a stream to remember. Or not. We'll see. But today, instead of coding right away, we might get to the coding a little bit later. I've got, just in time for Halloween, I suppose, a zombie dog just came in from the modeling department. And we also have a small update to the medieval town environment to do, and to push that up to the asset store. So that's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to start with today. We'll get to some coding later, probably, because I don't think that those two things are going to take the entire time. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do streams a lot. They're very exciting. They're full of interesting people chatting and learning and helping out. So if you like game dev, if you like, hey Fredo, if you like hanging out, then definitely like, subscribe, and come on back for future streams. Let's get right into it today. And by get right into it, I mean let me unplug this cocktail lounge sign because it blinds me a little bit from the front. And also let me turn down this other light because it also blinds me a little bit. And now let's get going with the demon dog. I have not actually opened this yet. I just extracted it. We have the maps here. We have the FBX and we have the exploded FBX, which is what we use to do some painting. So let's do some painting there. Hey, look at that. A reptile. That's cool. Substance 3D Painter. I haven't downloaded the new version yet. I'm still using this version. I should probably start using the new one. Why not, Fredo? Where are you going to be? Do you have a prior engagement? I don't know why the window's so small. It's small for... very small. Alright, we're gonna make a new one. Let's bring this directly into it here. And we will add these maps. Let's see what this zombie dog looks like. Now, of course, its tongue usually will be in its mouth, but this is exploded so that I can more easily paint it. And that is our zombie dog. Now, it's not meant to be a dog, it's meant to be a zombie dog, so the texturing might be a bit of a challenge. Hello, Leonardo, how are you? I enjoy texturing, but sometimes not the best. I try, and that matters, right? Trying matters. Let's see. Assign the normal map. The other maps are all assigned, but I think I need to... I always have to rebake the position map, otherwise it ends up with blocks for some reason. I'm not sure why that happens, but it always does. So I'm going to bake that as a 4K texture. Alright, and let's see what we got going on here. Alright, so easy one. First, demon dog, zombie dog. I don't know, is it a demon dog or a zombie dog? Demon dog sounds better, but who knows. Let's do the tongue. That's easy enough. I have a tongue material here somewhere that I like to use, and we'll probably modify it. We'll do a black mask. Hit this button, whoops, not that one, this one, and select this. And I think for this, we're gonna have to modify that. So we will do a empty layer, I'm gonna go with HSL, and add a filter to it, and we will do pass through. And we're going to add the HSL filter. And saying this pass through, that has taken so much random time to remember that back in the day. Anyways, just want to make this kind of darker and make it kind of purplish for now. Who knows? Something like that. I figured zombie dog maybe doesn't have a red tongue. Eyeballs. I don't know. Well, let's see. Eyes. Let's look at the eyes. What kind of eyes do I have already? Temp eyes, shadow, scroll eyes. These eyes. These are very humanoid eyes. There's a zombie, so really could be anything. I do like throwing human eyes on these, though. It's kind of fun just to be weird about it. And black mask, we will add only these. I think I did it. And then this. Ooh, creepy. Yeah, so I'm not going to use the human eye, but it's always creepy. Can you imagine? Yeah. Although, you know, there are the dogs with blue tongues, and when I was a kid, I was so amazed by that. I had, like, never even thought that any creature could have not a red tongue, because at the time, everything I knew had red tongues. So let's see. So I think I'm gonna have to do something else. I think for now maybe I'll just make a fill layer, and I guess we should expose the emissive. I think there's going to be some emissiveness going on here, and make this emissive. Alright, just making glowing red for now. Okay, and teeth. Teeths. Just throw on something. Whoa. That's an interesting look just for the dog itself in some way. Maybe I can use that one day. Black mask. Alright. Creature teeth. It's the base. Gunk. Black. Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. I had another teeth. Yeah, this will do for now. Might change that later. It's not working on triplanar though, so it needs to be triplanar. Oh. So really most of this is just this dirt and damage. Alright, we'll leave it there for now. This curvature is I can forget it down. Okay. Hello, Tyler. Most dogs have red tongues, but I don't know the name of the dog breed, but some have blue tongues. Alright, let's get to the... Yeah, Chow Chow dogs. Hey, Tech Dave. Demon dog. Well, let's get something going on. I guess I should make a folder first. Alright, this is going to be body. Let's just start playing with it. That's often what I do, is just start playing with things and seeing what works and then modifying, changing and adding and all that stuff. Yeah. Oops. This is not. Let's see what happens when we put this into the crevices. Smart masks. Cavities. I see. That looks disturbing. Ugh. I think we're onto something. I mean, this is certainly not a dog I would like to have to take to the vet. There would be some explaining to do. This is... For those of you who are just coming to the stream, if this is the kind of thing that disturbs you, I apologize. This is fairly gross. If I do say so myself. So we're gonna bring this roughness down a little bit so it's not quite so shiny. Maybe down to there. But that, I mean, this is a look and a half right there. Honestly, this is not bad. I think I might save this as a look, but I do want to make some adjustments to some random parts. So we're gonna say nose. Let's see. Yeah, and that's the thing about it, does change with the right texture, and that's the thing is that gets me is it always blows me away, but at the same time, like, it's hard to accomplish just on its own. And I want this one, to replace. There we go. I brought this one in only for the roughness and height. And I just want to put that kind of up here. It's not that, not there. And then I want to bring it down. Height a bunch, it's just a little bit. And then nostrils, and we're gonna make a fill layer for the nostrils, and we're gonna fill this with black and fill it with height is gonna be low, 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 and pretty matte because we just want it to be dark, essentially. Does that look like a dog's snout? Okay. And then we'll do inner mouth. Whoops. Inner mouth. And you know what I should also do? Save. And alright, in the inner mouth, I'm going to copy this over. And call it shadow. Can't type tonight. Seems like my fingers are in the wrong spots. And we're just gonna go in here, take a paintbrush, maybe a dirt of some sort. Just paint the heck out of the inner mouth here, way back there. There. Here. So in a game, random light doesn't reflect off the inner mouth. That's part of the goal there. Okay. All he wants to do is play with you. You can do those claws. And for this one, we're going to keep this, maybe. But I want to make it turn off or make the height just a little bit higher and make it not so matte. We'll keep the dirt, but just want to paint these dark. Toenail painting, you know, just like we all did back in high school, painting our nails, or letting others paint our nails because we thought they were cute. And if we let them paint our nails, we got to spend time with them. And that seemed like a pretty decent situation. And then I want the height to replace, and this height to replace. Alright, black mask. Copy this mask. Paste into mask. And I don't want it to replace all the way. Just some of the way. Alright. And the nose, I think I might do something similar to the nose. Okay. The ears, usually the ears, if we're a real dog, I would do something to it, but the ears are actually not that bad. Alright, I think this is a decent number 1, except the tongue now I think doesn't really match. So let's see what does this tongue. Alright. The teeth. Teeth just, I didn't like this dirt that the teeth have already, but I do want dirt, so got some dirt. Dirt. Where is the dirt that I like to use? Oh yes, it's armor dirt. Which one though? I've got multiple versions. Let's do version 3. Okay. That's better. I like that dirt. I already made this dirt before, so I'm going to keep using it. Alright. Oops. Well, there's a zombie dog for you. Yeah. Our plan is actually to have other dogs that have with similar shapes so that we can use similar animations. Now that Fluffy is coming out, that's the goal. This dog doesn't need fluff though. Okay, I want to try one other look because this is cool, but what about something else? So let's try one with a different body. Char and I don't think this, but flesh carbonized sounds creepy and gross. Just want to see what it looks like. No. That's not what I'm looking for. I am looking for... Oh, charcoal. I'm looking for charcoal. Why would I want to make a dog charcoal? You might ask that question, and it would be a fair question. It would be a very fair question, in my opinion. And then zombie. Bloody meat, we're going to go with lava. And we'll go with this lava. And we will delete the zombie bloody meat. Yep. Here, doggy doggy. And smart masks. We want a cavity one again. So that's the inner parts that get it. But it's like the opposite. Creature. Creature teeth. Creature tongue. Monster creature 2. That's mine. I'm going to make a copy of this. Whoops. Put it above here. Nope, sorry, I had it right. Above there. I'm going to move this mask up there, so I'm going to copy the mask and then paste into mask and then move both of these up here. And then the charcoal on a black mask and a smart mask rather. And for this one, use one of my own masks. And turn these down or off. Infernal dog, huh? You mean the toad skin? Bright toad skin? There's like this. Let's start with a dark one. And then for this one, the teeth I feel need to be dark. And the tongue can be dark like that, bluish. The eyes, I mean, these are something you could change in Unity as well, or it's probably better set up in Unity if they're going to be emissive and stuff. But Since that's not always what ends up happening. Yellow eyes. The yellow glow. Alright. Nose is still fine as a nose. The claws are good there too. Okay. Alright, so that's our zombie deck. I'm going to come back to this another day. And we can always make a brighter one. I do want a brighter one, but between these two, we got two very creepy looking dogs that I would not want to meet in any world, but I think this one would be cool with the emissive values. I'm just imagining a dark scene with like a pack of 8 or 10 of these running around, lighting up the scene with their emissiveness. I don't know. I might come back and remove the emissiveness from the inner mouth. But we'll see. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to revisit this. It's always good to take a break and come back and revisit on another day and get more inspiration. So the next thing I wanted to do today was medieval environment. I just have 3 new facades to basically import. So I'll just, whoops, just drag them down there. And so facade T, oh, it's just facade T. And then upload this to the asset store. So facades, facade T. And we need to find where the models, facade T, should be here. All right, reveal in Finder. So just bring these over here. Replace, replace, replace. That should do some trick. I can't remember what was wrong with facade T, but it might all come back to me as soon as I see the prefab. Come on. Alright, my button clicking was doing weird stuff. Alright, well, whatever it was, the materials are all different now, so we need to fix that. Alright. Materials. Where are my materials? Village wall. Let's see. Then wood. Oh, that was already there. Then the village wall 1, and I think I was going for village wall 4 up here. And up the very top here, village wall 3. I always put village wall 3 up here. It's this horizontal, horizontal wood. Looks really nice. Hey, Christopher Main. It's going well. How about you? Come on, stick. Rainbow Wheel of Doom. What? Okay, apparently I moved. village wall 4. Into somewhere else. Come on. Move it back. And make sure we have the right shingles up here. Shingles want to mingles. All right. So there we go. Facade T. Doors, windows, colliders. Oh, maybe it was this underside. Maybe that's why I was trying to have updated. Let's see. The wood looks nice. Oh, gotta fix that. Oh, definitely gotta fix that. All right. So we need definitely on village wall 1 here to match the outside, I think. And then options here, we could go village wall 1. We could keep that. I think that's village wall 4. Yeah, village wall 4. Do village wall 3. I think village wall 4. There we go. All right. Oh, something changed. Stairs. Didn't notice the stairs. That's definitely not right for the stairs. Yeah, so let's do does village wall 1 work? Kinda does. But let's see if the regular stairs work. That's what we're going for. The staircase. Alright, there we go. Now facade T is done. Daily code stuff. That's a way to go. I mean, it's okay to skip a day, of course. But if you skip too many, you'll forget what you were doing. At least I do. So there we go. We got a bunch of facades being updated. Looking for somebody. If anyone knows, or if you happen to be a master level designer, I'm looking for somebody to accept some money in exchange for making a really nice level with these facades. Really nice level. These facades, this set is intended to be used to create more dense vertical towns and villages, as you can see with this one, where there's stuff down here, there's stuff here, there's stuff here, and of course the upper level there, so that things get kind of just put together and made into a town that has more than a flat expanse. So a lot of these are geared towards taller towns and the ability to walk through and under and in. And even this down here, this itself is something you can turn off. Well, you'd have to turn them all off. But if you turn them all off, then this itself is a tunnel. You have to put something on the back end because there's nothing back there. This is just a facade. But you could put something else back there, one of the other facades, and it would be a thing. So, how come that didn't? think the tunnel hadn't been added. Let's override that. Alright. So, pretty cool stuff. Now it's time to upload it to the asset store. So if any of you happen to have the medieval village pack, this will be up there soon. So let's upload it. It's going to take a while to upload. Let's see. Village. Alright, upload it. It's going to take a long time. Let's find out. I'm going to go use the restroom while this starts, and I'll be right back. Hasn't even started yet, huh? This always takes a while. It's going to basically exports a package and then it uploads it, and it's slow. For some reason, the App Store upload is like half the speed or less as a regular upload. Anyways, so that's gonna go. At some point, it's gonna take focus. But oh, I think it just did. Did it? Yep, there it is. So now it's uploading. It'll take a while. But we got the coding to do. And I have to say, I found these spicy mangoes at Costco. I'm addicted to them. And I have almost eaten the entire bag this week since Monday. And they're good. Alright, if my mouse would start working in this project. There we go. This is very slow. This is slower than it was last night. This is where I've come up with the stats and skill. And just in case this is slowing it down, I'm going to upload that later tonight. So if you're waiting on this edge of your seat for that to finish uploading, you'll have to wait till tomorrow morning. Alright, it's a little faster without the other project. It is, the actual company is SFA Studios, but Infinity PBR and Magic Pick Games are indeed mine. Magic Pick Games hasn't done officially, in a legal sense, anything yet, except create an LLC in a state that I need to transfer it to this state, but I'm working on tabletop games. That's why I got the Magic Pig games. But I like Magic Pig games, so I think Legend of the Stones will be under Magic Pig games. Alright, so this is the stats and skills. And it's faster than it was when I had the other project up, but it's still a little slow, and that's because it's not optimized yet. It's an editor script, and it's doing too much looking up of stuff. The idea here is that you can now create new or add different stats that can be modified by this one, in this case armor, or armor, just the armor stat or skill, and then also new sources as well. So the way that works is the base and per skill are kind of always here, and then when you have armor novice, your armor class will go up by 0.5 and 0.5 proficiency, etc., etc. And you can add other things. And when you have armor novice, the dark value would go up by whatever. So you can kind of mix and match things together, different stats and skills. They're being drawn with this drawer, and the drawer just says draw. It's a interface. Draw adds pop up, and I think what's making it take so long is I'm likely doing a bunch of lookups. And I think where I left off last night, I was trying to think, how can I change this to make it more efficient? So right now, there's a stats and skills modification level. Now, they will have one level. Each stat or skill will have one level per mastery level. Mastery levels, you can have an unlimited number of those. In this case, I've got 4. Each level, there will be a copy-paste button. As you see, I've got to do here for that. But each level will have, you know, different settings and effects, which makes sense. Each level currently has a list of stat and skill modification called modifications. If we look into that, this is essentially a source UID. That's the source of the fire, mine, dark, or hard-coded to base and per skill point. And the target unique ID, what is being affected, that's this left value here in the left column, and the value and proficiency right here. That's cool. But it's slow. Slow-ish. And on the modification level, you can get value and proficiency. If sources doesn't have the source and targets doesn't have the target, then it's going to return 0, 0. In other words, no effect. Otherwise, it's going to go through those, and this is faster than the link statement I had before, so I changed to this. It's going to go through those and return the mod and proficiency. But what I was thinking, I could save a step if, well, okay, if instead of a source UID and a source target, there was one public string source and target UIDs, then I wouldn't have to do a search through both of those. Instead, I would just have to say if I wouldn't have to compile sources and targets necessarily, although I still could, and I probably still will. If modifications.contains, well, I could still do that check because that's easy enough. We could say if mod.source and target's UID does not equal source plus no space target, then continue. And that saves one check here. It's not faster yet because there's still, I think there's still just something I'm doing here. And it's probably this that's taking the most. Or if we just return test. See if just returning that suddenly speeds things up. Because they're stored as UIDs, unique IDs, so I have to get the actual name from the unique IDs. Well, first of all, none of them changed to test. Why is that? Of course, that means it had no impact. So apparently, that's not where it's doing it. Available. Oh, because I cached those values. That's right. So I actually don't know why it's so slow. But this didn't particularly make it faster. So I think I will just comment this out for now and keep it in my back pocket for potential change later. But I guess. Ah. I do that a lot. Okay, let me comment both of those out and see if that makes a difference. Because I suppose I don't need to use the UID at this point. And that makes a big difference. Huge difference. Night and day, a world of difference. All right. So, let us instead and this uses link. Let's see if we do it a different way. See if we can just make this optimize without abandoning it. So for each stats and skills in stats and skills array dot to array, that itself is link. I guess I don't need this. What I need is stats and skills. If stats and skills dot UID equals UID, then or if it does not, then we'll continue. And then otherwise return UID. Return name. Or stats and skills dot object name. Otherwise, return, well, I can say default. Let's see if that speeds it up. It does. So I've been enjoying. Oh, we're still using test here. Why is that? This not save. So maybe it doesn't. Take back what I said. Okay, it's a little. If I had to guess, it's a teensy bit faster, but it's still slow looking up those. So what I think I'm going to do, since this... This is an editor script. These are scriptable objects. They're not going to be used at runtime. See you, Leonardo. But therefore, these can use other scriptable objects. They don't need to use the unique IDs. So what I think I'll do is try changing this to... we'll do public stats and skills source, public stats and skills target, and then on this part we'll do public list stats and skills sources, and we're going to call this sources names and targets names. Actually, we do want to do this formally serialized as, and then this is going to be sources, gives new list, and then another one for targets. That's fine. These are going to be stats and skills, or not those ones. Sources and available stats, trainable stats and skills will be those. And let's just go through and update the things in the scripts and see why. Okay, so draw modifications, base, and that, and then so for each stats and skills, source stats and skills, let's see, wait a minute. So this was in modification level sources. Because before some of my sources were those two. How about this? Bool, public bool. Base is base equals false, and public bool is per skill point is false. I don't know if this is the right way of doing it. Let's find out. Don't think we'd have to skip these then, and then we wouldn't have to show these up here. And then we would just have to show call this? So show mod column so I don't place the old stuff, and we're just going to pass in the this, I suppose. It's going to be show mod column and stats and skills and source. So source name is going to be source.object name, and but if source dot is, oh shoot, okay. So first one will be is base equals false, bool is per skill point equals false. So var source name equals blank. If source is not null, source name equals object name. However, if is base, then is base, then source name equals base. If even better, go back per skill point, and then on this one we will just give stats and skills dot object name, and we will pass in essentially string source name. Then we don't have to worry about any of that or that. Okay, so we label our source name. It's this top part. And for each stats and skills target in targets modification, get value and proficiency. This is going to be source and target. Update that source and target. So if it doesn't contain those, return for each modification. Source, target. All right, get value. So let's change those types. Set value. Change those types. Get modification. Cache sources and targets. Select target. Targets. Cache trainable stats. This skills array. This object. This object is null. Stats and skills. Select. Remove the select entirely. Effects list is now going to be stats and skills. But effects list is essentially targets now. So I think we just need to return targets. And then to get rid of those lines, we'll just do that. Trainable stats and skills. We don't need the UXD except for this object targets. What did I just do? Ah. Trainable stats and skills. There's the stats and skills array, except for the ones that this affects, except for this object. Stats and skills. Okay, to array. Trainable stats and skill names. Select x dot object name. Yep, all right. And then cache source stats. This stats and skills array, except, don't need that, except for targets, except for sources. Okay. Available ones are the ones that we don't already have. This object does not equal null. Then available sources equals stats or and skills, except for this object. And available source names equals available sources and then x dot object name. Whoa. Okay. And we got more errors. So let's go through these. Set proficiency. It's going to be stats and skills for these. Set value will be stats and skills for those. Add modification. New source, and new target. And here, just make a duplicate of this. And we will set these for now, which is going to be UID and .UID. What is this? Add modification. Okay. More errors. Get value and proficiency. Oh, this is our old version. So I'm just gonna comment it out so it doesn't give us any troubles. And down here, this is the add. So what we're going to do is add, let's copy this. We're going to add modification. New source is going to be null. Yeah. And then so let's try something. If new source equals null, and we'll do something else. We'll do this. If the source is null, then all we really have to do is add the target to the targets lists. So targets.add new target. And then we will cache trainable stats. Or will we? No, I don't think we need to do that. So it's not actually going to add anything to the modifications because at the beginning, that's just the base and per skill point. We'll add those as we get pluses and minuses here. I think that's how I wanted to do it. All right, no more errors. An error here. Add modification from stats and skills. Well, this isn't being used right now, so I will rewrite that later because I'm not sure how I want to rewrite that. Because Well, this is a scriptable object too, so it might not even be needed. So I'm just going to ignore it for now, and then let's see how many errors we get. It's possible that I messed something up, and this is going to throw an issue. And indeed, it's throwing an issue. And it's saying that there's no reference here. Let's see if we can narrow down the issue. The issue is probably that I just need to delete the objects and start over. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here, delete these, and delete these because I don't remember which ones I used. And I will need to build in some handling for what happens when something is deleted, suddenly gone. But we can do that after this part's set up. Game modules create. Stats and skills, we're going to call this chain. And make a leather. Oops, leather. And a plate. And a shield. And in our main stats, we're going to make one stats and skills, and we're going to call this armor class. All right. And manage your stats and skills. Okay. Something. This is unexpected. Oh, because it says magic skills object. Well. Well, this is because we need to say if type index is greater than that dot count or length, then type index equals that dot length minus 1. Basically saying, hey, we're out of bounds. So let's account for that. I think that would fix it. Did it? Nope. Why not? Well, why the hell not? Maybe it needs to be greater than or equal to. Because if this is 0, then we want that to be -1. I suppose. There we go. That was it. Alright, so now we got back to our only two. Main stats, armor skills. So main stats, this can be modified. And armor skills, all of these can be trained. Mastery levels. Main mastery levels. And let's go back to our armor. Now if we look at chain, we need to get rid of this debug log. Did we set these? Thought we just set these. Apparently that one didn't get the hint. There we go. And I swear we set this. To main mastery. Huh. I'll have to come back to that one. I might not need the cache anymore, but... Alright, let's see. How come armor class isn't showing up here? Select a stat skill to be modified. Pop-up. Trainable stats and skills names. Trainable stats and skills. Alright, cache trainable stats and skills. That no reference is related to this, I think, but just want to make sure. We're getting the array. And we're removing anything that this affects already. But we don't want... We only want the ones that are modifiable. Right, because if it can't be modified, then these can't modify it. So, trainable ones. Wait, no, these can be trained. Am I using the wrong phrase? It's supposed to be modifiable. Modifiable stats and skills. And modifiable stats skill names. And then cache modifiable okay, so stats and skills array, except for this. Okay, this is actually get modifiable. Now, am I spelling modifiable wrong? I was spelling it wrong. It's with an I, right? Now why? Modifiable. That's wrong. Uh-huh. It's with an I. It's with an I. All right, let's see if it magically works now. It should only give us, right now, armor class, because that's the only modifiable. Apparently it's not finding it. Okay, I thought I set that too. Something going on with my... See? I swear, go back to the video. That was there. And this was something else. I wonder if I'm not saying things dirty properly. Something to consider. Main stats can be modified. Those that doesn't matter for this one. Armor skills, chain, inspector, armor class. All right, good. Add. Well, shouldn't have gone back to that, but that's okay. What happens when we add? We do add modification and cache modifiable, and this is why get trainable. 3 matches. Where we need to change this to modifiable. Modifiable and modifiable. All right. Now, I'm assuming we added it as a null source. Although it says we still have that. So let me do, where's the draw? Draw modifications. Just want to count how many targets there are. Zero targets. All right, add. Still 0. All right, well, add's not working. It's supposed to add modification with a null source, but a target of this 0, 0. Okay, add modification. Then cache sources and targets. So I guess maybe I do need to do this. Let's try it that way. Cancel. If source is not equal to null, then we'll do a source UID. Target should never be null. Source can be null. That's the idea. And we'll say else is base equals true. Default it to is base if we're adding one this way, or how about this? Bool is base equals false. Bool is per skill point. Skill point equals false, and then we will just say these is base equals new is base, and I'll change those is per skill point equals new is per skill point, and change these new is base and new is per skill point. All right, and then on the add, we will say true, it is base. That didn't work. Why? Add modification. Species here, that's why. True. Otherwise, add it with the source. All right, now let's see if this works. All right, now we got one. All right, turn off this debug. No stats skills available, but we do need to draw the columns, and that's what we got to do next. So, draw our editor, draw modifications, targets equals 0. If we have no targets, return. Otherwise, scroll view, show mod column for base and per skill point. Okay, I'll come back to that. And we will say if stats and skills okay, actually yes, I think that should be okay, because these two won't ever be listed in sources. All right, and just to make sure, the source name is base and per skill point. Each target, it's up and down here. All right, then we gotta do bring in source name to all right. Bool is base equals source name question mark base. Otherwise, nothing. Yeah. And is per skill point. So we're going to pass these in is base and is per skill point. I'm also going to pass those in, and each of these. So if it doesn't contain those, and not is base and not is per skill point, then we'll return 0, 0. Otherwise, for each mod and modifications, if the source and not is base and not is per skill point. However, if is base and mod dot is base, or is not, and mod dot is not mod dot is base, then continue. And if is per skill point and not mod dot is per skill point, continue. Now I guess I could put both of these up here, because if it were either of these, then this would never fire anyways. Actually, incorrect. Okay. And then return those. Otherwise, return 0, 0. Okay. And then get value. And these actually should be default to false. Ease. Really on all of these. Then for the set, similar, get modification is base, is skill, is per skill point. I'll have to fix that. So if we don't have a null, if we do have one, then set the values. Otherwise, we're adding one, is per skill point. Get modifications. Well, we're duplicating work here. Right? Yeah. So really, this should just be get modification, source, target, is base, is per skill point, and if get modification, or mod does not equal null, then return that, otherwise return that, So we can say return mod equals null question mark. If so, 0, 0. Otherwise, that. Okay. That skinnies that up. Now, odd modification needs these as well. If new source equals null, so really what we can say is if is base, then we'll do this and say true, false. And then that, and return. If is per skill point, we will do something very similar. We will make false and true, cache it, return, and then otherwise, we will just do that. And we can actually make this and just say is base and do this per skill point and remove this one. Yep. Okay, no errors. Let's see if it draws. Hope you're having a good night, everybody. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. Always appreciate it. And is it just not catching up? Nope, it's throwing errors. Why are you throwing errors? Hey, I thought this we fixed this one. Let's see, draw modifications. We should probably put if continue. Let's see if that solves that. It appears to have. So we're closer. This should say armor class. It doesn't appear to. So let's see. Show left column. Targets. Stats and skills. Target. Label. Target. Whoops. Nope. Target dot object name. Okay. All right. Now it says armor class properly. Now, anything can be a source. So I do need, that should say something different, because the whole point of adding these customizable one is that you might want to do a per level, where chain gives you some base, some per skill point, and another one per level or something like that. So that needs to be updated for sure. Let's see what happens when I adjust this. Okay, well that's supposed to be changing. Whoa! Suddenly everything did change. That's odd. That wasn't expected in the least. Oh, but this added too. So these must be pulling from the same source. So we need to fix that. But also, one of the something here had a get trainable instead of get modifiable. Get modifiable. Modifiable stats and skills. Get modifiers. Where should we find get trainable? That's what we're looking for. Something here has it. Aha, this one does. In the show mastery buttons. That should. I don't know if it's going to update these, but it might. Alright, good. Now let's decouple them. Actually, these should be changing too. This shouldn't be the same for all of those. Stats and skills. Why isn't this list showing? Oh, that's weird. Just didn't have the UX by it. That's interesting. It's also interesting that this is in a different order from that. But no, it's not. Okay, so those are 0, 0. And so we have a base point is based per skill point. So those are accurate. And this is none. So when we do this, it should be updating this down here. So these buttons are outside of this drawer. So they must be in the stats and skills editor. Buttons, show buttons. Not this show buttons. Show mastery levels. Mastery buttons. And when you click on one, it does that cache and it's saying show this equals true after turning the rest off. Okay, so it's about show this. Now if we go to the drawer or somewhere, maybe it is over here. Oops. There are a lot of show thises. drawer. Not dictionary drawer, this one. Aha! This is hard coded to 0, that's why. Private int get mastery level index. For each mastery level and this object mastery level show this. Turn I, so we have to do this for int I equals 0. I is less than this object dot mastery levels dot count I plus plus turn I return default -1, let's say. All right. All right. That should work then. Not quite, sort of. We are getting change, but the experts does have trainable stats and skills available. So let's figure that one out. This is the most complicated module in all the game modules, in my opinion. The stats and skills, because it's like a web of potential connections. And that's important to have a web of potential connections. It's the whole point of it. But, okay. So, when I'm in the drawer, and it says there are no trainable stats and skills, this is going to be modifiable. Modifiable stats and skills available. Are we doing the wrong modification level? Draw modification level dot mastery level. Novice, expert. Okay, so it is passing the right one. Maybe needs to cache it whenever we change. And that would be equals true. Other equal true. Show this equals true. So looks like we do cache it. Do it for novice. All right, so that's working as expected. Now, debug.log modifiable, whoops, found modifiable stats and skills dot length. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm excluding this object.effects list. I need to just exclude effects list. There you go. That should do the trick. Because this object is chain, and its effect list takes into account all of these rather than just this one. While I expect copy paste to be used most often, people would set up one and then there we go, and then set up the rest. Okay, perfect. And if we look at expert now, we have, oh, this is supposed to be his base. Interesting. So that's a bug. So let's fix that. And here it's going to be select a. Right here, this add. True. That's the bug. Let's see if it works. Hello, Rapture Countdown. Yes, so these are all being updated, but if we just take a break and go to infinitypbr.com, click the See All Assets, which is my affiliate link, and I definitely appreciate when you all click that before you buy anything from the asset store. It's the game modules. So the game modules is all of these. All of these are being rewritten. I expect there to be a game modules V2 for a free upgrade. So if you buy this now, you'd get it for the upgrade for free. But yeah, but I expect it to be a V2. And all the modules are in there, including stats and skills. I'm getting tired. All right, let's see if this fixes it. Now we go down to master. Good, good, and we got that good. And the sources, that still says 1. That's weird. Okay. Let's see why it does that. Don't think it will add the sources here, but probably cache sources and targets. Aha. Modification, select. So we need to say where x dot x dot is base is not equal is where x dot is base not x dot is base. Wait. X. How do you do not here? Guess we just say it's false. Okay. Yeah, we should do this. That's what all the cool kids do, apparently. We should actually do it in one line. No, or not. Let's see. Select any. No. If I do 2 wheres, would that? Well, I guess it would exclude the is base ones there, and then it will exclude. Yes, that would work, I guess. Same deal there, or not. Yeah, targets doesn't have the is base in its per skill point. All right, so maybe that will solve the problem. Let's try it on the Grandmaster. Excellent. Except that this is now didn't work. All right, well. Hey, Rapture Countdown. You shouldn't have, thank you. It's weird that I just added this so that is base equals true, and it worked, and then suddenly it didn't work. That's strange, right? Fix this part. But this, it should say is base. Wait. Like master said it doesn't say it now. Did I not fix it? Let's try leather. We'll start with leather. We'll go brand new one. Leather's got nothing. And so add Okay. Debug.log no source, and then we'll do is base is per skill point. So we should see that, and that should pass is base and per skill point to here. And when we do that, modifications.add add modification. Okay. Modifications add a new stats and skill modification. Source is null. All those. Source is null. All those. And we'll just do another one here. Debug.log adding new. And then we'll do new is base and new is per skill point, just to see what spits out. What gets a spat out? Armor class, add, true, cache for modifiable, but this didn't get set. Adding new, true, false. Well, that confounds me. If I move these up here. Alright, we'll try once more. And yet... still didn't happen. Well, that is strange. The only way, it seems to me, the only way it could happen is through this, and it did say true, false. That's new is base, and so is base should be new is base. Is base is a bool. Maybe because of this? Let's try that. Maybe that needs to not be set up there. I would think whatever I put in the add would override it, but maybe I'm wrong about that. It's been known to happen about 50 times a day that I'm wrong about something. So master, who's the expert? Nope. That didn't change a darn thing. Okay. Well. so it's not there. I wondered if it's just being changed somewhere else. So I'm just going to search for is base equals and see if we can find one where it would set that value. Aha. There. That was saying that value. I don't think I'm wrong about this one, though, because I make that mistake fairly often. In my head, I don't know about you guys, but in my head, the double equals, I always say is equals. So is equals to. So it's like 2 rather than just equals. Is equals. That's how I justify it. But I'm thinking this will work now. And welcome to the stream, Jack. Good to see you again. It worked. Okay. So it had worked before. It had worked before. I wasn't going cray. I mean, not more than usual. You know what I've been listening to on Audible during my walks recently? Lord of the Rings, narrated by Andy Serkis. And I have to say, it's pretty good. I've never read the book, never heard the book, definitely seen the movies because, you know, I'm an American. But I like it. I like it a lot. Sometimes I feel like I would have made different decisions than Andy Serkis does in regards to the way he says certain words. There's Gandalf lines, and specifically that I felt maybe I would have chosen a different route for them. Not like I'm, you know, going to be an amazing narrator. I would not be. But either way, it's a very good book, very entertaining so far. I'm a few hours in, and I like it. That's my story. All right. Literally just trying to get rid of my debugs now. And then we'll figure out why these are pulling from the same place. They should not be pulling from the same place. All right. Now, drawer. So there are no stats and skills available. So available sources is what we're looking for. Available sources. Where do we set available sources? Right here, cache sources. Perfect. All right. Well, what are we doing? This stats and skills array. Cache modifiable stats. Well, that's our first problem. That's really probably our only problem. We don't need this. It looks like maybe I had a different setup before and then I changed it because there's really no reason for this conversion there. But what I can say is stats and skill array is going to be equal to get stats and skills. Oh, but I don't have access to that here. Which is why I was passing this through. But in the end, These are all passing the get modifiable stats and skills array. So I need to do instead dot cache source targets and pass in get stats and skill array this object. Is it private? Yes. Okay, so now every time I do cache modifiable stats, I should also do that and not do it here. Come back to that. This one, it's that and that. Then back here, so it's going to take in all of them. So this isn't even used, actually. Okay. Available sources, it's going to be all stats skills, except for the sources we already have, and except for the targets that we already have, because that would be a circular logic, so we can't do that. Do we need to exclude this one as well? I mean, I guess it's not circular, it's compounded. So if the idea would be, you know, generally base leather might increase your armor class. Well, actually, it probably would increase by 0 because it would be about the armor you're wearing. But let's say that the leather increases your armor class by 1, and per skill point, 0.5, and then per leather total by some amount. And that's essentially a duplicate of these of per skill point. It's not circular, but I should accept it. So let's accept this one as well. Oh, I guess this object could be... Okay, so I do that down here. Only if it's null. Not null, because I guess it could be null. If... Yeah, it could be null if this a stats and skill modification level is added to an object that is not itself a stats and skill. Something I have to test. Alright, let's see if that works. So the expectation is that this will have a drop down and this will not have a drop down. And there we go. So add a source, chain, add. All right, so that didn't quite work. Where are we? We're in Grandmaster. All right, so it didn't add the source. So let me just kind of undo a little bit and figure out what the add is there. Add a source from another stat skill. What happens when you add modification, new source, target? Ah, so this needs to be similar to the other add. All right, so yes, so this can be 0. And is base equals true. So the really only difference is adding that. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. All right, didn't work. We're on the Grandmaster still. Oh, I was wrong about that. It's not supposed to be is base equals true because it is supposed to have a source. Should add source. Object name. All right, let's try again. Should add source chain. Instead, it's null. Why? Then this is why. If new source is not null, not source is not null. That would do it. That would definitely do it. One of those silly mistake things that we all make, except some of us less than others. So undo those two adds and go back up here. Chain, add, chain, plate, add, plate, shield. There are no stats and skills available. Perfect. And then if I Yep, those are all added. And if I change one to say 1, then this one gets 1. Perfect. Okay, and it's faster than it was at the beginning of the stream. That was the idea, of course. Now the reality is, I need a close button, remove button. But the reality is these won't affect armor class. But if we have some other main stats, let's say we have hit points and hit points max, and hit points max can be modified, hit points cannot be modified, and then we do a skill and we create a new skill. So game modules create stats and skills, call it bodybuilding. On this one we can say it can be trained and it can be modified. And if we go to, I need to make the mastery level set here too, but if we go to our stats and skills, main mastery levels, and then back to my inspector. So novice, we will say hit points max, add, and we can say 0. So it will add 0.09. Oh, what happened there? Well, that's interesting. Oh, bug. So disappointing, right in the middle of my demonstration. That's weird. It has the value and proficiency there. For this, it's going to be different for each, because I suppose there could be situations where novice affects armor class, but expert affects something else for some reason. I don't know, something like that. But or maybe novice affects hit points, expert master affects hit points, and grandmaster affects hit points and armor class. But there will be a copy paste, so you know in most cases it will affect the same ones, and then you'll just change the values as it goes up. Now in my game, you will need earlier versions. You'll need to go up one to another. But in other people's games, who knows what they do? Other people can do whatever crazy things they want to do. I'm not going to stop them. But I do want to know why this is being stopped. Because the values are definitely being set, it looks like. Yeah, you can see the value being set here. Oh, interesting. But you can also see them being flipped. So let's see what my set code looks like. Set, value, and proficiency. So this is the set code. It's drawing the mod column. That's these columns with the modifications in them. So is base equals, if that's true, it's a skill point. So value and proficiency, we're getting the value and proficiency, so we'll definitely have to check that out because that appears to not be working. Start row, new value equals float value. Actually, I don't think I need to do this whole new value, and that could be what's causing it too. So instead, let's try this. Float, or we'll say modification level dot set value, source target, new value is going to be, what's this? Is going to be this. And set proficiency. We don't need that. We don't need this. But we do need to add these two here. What's this throwing a fit? Because I never added these to that. Those. All right. Let's see if that does the trick. That was a lot. I didn't even realize. It's weird because I thought that bug wasn't showing previously. And I think it would have, but who knows? Maybe I just didn't notice it. One. Nope. Let's see, where are the values? Down here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so they're not getting set. I can try to be less clever, of course. And instead of doing all that, I can just say it would be modification that get just turn this public, and then I can say start row, end row, and mod.value equals float mod.value 60. Hello, Raphael. How are you? And then the proficiencies, and then return. Not return. And then just comment all this stuff out. And then I'm not being fancy. I was trying to do being fancy with get and set, but that was not working. So maybe don't be fancy. Well, there we go. That works perfectly fine. Can I undo? I can undo too. Excellent. Okay. So, here we go. So what I was saying is bodybuilding might do hit point max. It might do a proficiency 0.09 as a base, and then a 0.01 per skill point. And this would equate to, at novice level, and this is how it would equate in my game. You can, of course, code it how you want. Although the stats and skill will built in. Any stats and skills that affect each other, there will be a built-in method to compute all that. So this will be a built-in feature. But this essentially means that at one skill point at novice level, there will be a 10% increase in hit points max. Proficiency for hit points max will go up by 10 points. And the way you compute a value is you get points, which is on this. Then you have the base, which can be modified. Add those together, multiply by the proficiency plus 1. So if proficiency is negative, it will go down. And then that'll be the final value. So if hit points max is 100 points, it would be 110 total. Now, once I have a copy paste, you might go to Grandmaster and say, okay, well, it's Grandmaster is gonna do hit. Oh, fucking shit, man! What the hell? All right, so we would say if mod equals null, then continue. But why is mod null? Get modification, source target. All right, well, let's see. All right, we'll do it on master and do the star. So let's say once you get to master, yes, you're going to affect hit points max, and look at that. So that's the issue here, and that's why I was doing the get, because it would just return 0 and not be there. Okay. Anyways, the point is you can add both, and it's getting late, so I actually want to call it a stream, and I'm gonna make a note for myself here that says note. Well, let's just do this. Note. The get version allowed to return 00 if no mod existed. But I guess now that I write that down, I could say if that's null, then do something, and it wouldn't be continue. Well, it would be eventually, but it would be no, because I need the set too. The set is where it happens, the magic happens. So the whole idea is that the get will get if there's already a mod with the source and target, then it will return those values. Otherwise, it will return 00. So these will just show up 00 because there's nothing listed. But once you change the value, it will set it, and if there is one that doesn't exist, then it will create it and all that. But I'll do that tomorrow. I'm tired. It's been a long day, a long week, and I have another 8 a.m. meeting, so I'm gonna chill out and go to bed. So let me. I'm trying a new thing here where I intro and outro. So good night. Thanks for joining. I appreciate the company. I appreciate the tips. I appreciate Rapture Countdown and your giant red thumbs up super chat. Definitely appreciate all of you participating in these. Like, subscribe. I'll be doing this. I'll probably do another stream tomorrow night, to be honest, because it's a Friday night, and where am I going? Nowhere. Let's be honest. Actually, I don't think I'm going anywhere. Probably nowhere. So here I'll be. coding on this and getting this fixed. I might even get some of this fixed earlier in the day. Who knows? You never know. So thank you all. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day. And I will see you later. Once I push this button.